I'm fine, I told Naira, offering a smile that I hoped was at least a little convincing. Judging by the looks on the agents' faces, it wasn't. Exhaling, I folded my arms across my chest. My body temperature was starting to plummet now that we weren't hustling up and down the stairs with armfuls of boxes and small pieces of furniture. The early December air was something of a relief as we'd tended to the manual labor portion of the afternoon, but now it was starting to make me long for a pair of mittens, a large mocha, and a cozy fire. Unsurprisingly, the hearth in the formal living room at Beechwood sprang to mind. I'd spent most of my evenings there over the past few weeks, staying up well into the night, poring over every magical tome and grimoire I could get my hands on, which, considering the historic and more than slightly magical Manor's library, wasn't all that difficult, trying to learn everything I could about magic and the magical world. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid, right? I added with a quick shrug. Naira and Brandon exchanged a quiet look. Then Brandon smiled and tugged down the door of the moving truck, closing it with a finality that ended the conversation and my time in Tacoma. Hitching a thumb over my shoulder, I took a step backward. I'm going to run to the office and drop off my key and see if there's anything I need to sign, then we can hit the road. I cast a quick glance across the large parking lot to the faded wooden sign above an otherwise unmarked door. I didn't expect drama, but then I never looked forward to seeing the uptight management of the apartment complex, as we had enjoyed something of a strained relationship during my time in residence. Granted, that was largely due to the handful of occasions where I'd been late with the rent and ducked their every effort to speak with me about the matter until I had funds available in my bank account. No worries, Naira replied. We'll go get some coffees to go, maybe a road trip snack. I think I saw a coffee shop on our way here. If there's one thing we're good for here, it's coffee shops on every corner, I said with a quick smile. What's your usual order? Naira asked. I know it, Brandon replied, almost a little too quickly. Naira's dark brown eyes, flecked with amber, seemed to glow as she caught a glance at her partner. I see. My cheeks warmed. Thanks. Brandon turned away and began securing the latch on the door. Naira stepped toward the SUV, wearing the kind of grin a child might have upon finding the place her parents stashed the Christmas gifts before wrapping them, her gaze still bouncing between me and Brandon. She fumbled through her pockets, then lifted her chin. Hey, keys. On autopilot, Brandon reached into the pocket of his black North Face jacket, pulled out a sparse keyring and tossed it to his partner. She caught it with a self-satisfied grin and climbed in behind the wheel. Meet you back here in 10, Brandon told me, as his hands moved back to nestle in his coat pockets. Thanks again, I said, glancing down at the asphalt between us. I didn't know who else to ask, without having to answer a lot of uncomfortable questions. Brandon offered a small smile. I get it. It's not like you can leave much of a forwarding address, at least not for the time being. For what it's worth, I think you're making the right choice, Blair. I wish I felt half as sure about it as you do, I replied, pausing to tuck a strand of hair behind my ear before it got caught in the wind. I'd tugged my long, dark curls back into a low ponytail, but as was their tendency, my tresses were already launching an escape attempt from their elastic warden. Brandon's soft smile remained. Hey, at least you'll have a chance to relax and continue your studies. I exhaled a dry laugh that sounded more like a scoff. Oh yeah, I'm an A student, all right. Did Holly tell you that I finally learned how to levitate a feather? It wasn't a very big feather, so hold your applause, but I did it, so I guess there's that at least. Give me 10, maybe 20 years, and I'll be able to do something truly impressive. Like tie my shoes with magic or something. Do people even do that? Brandon chuckled. Give yourself time. This is all still really new for you. And considering the better part of the last month you were looking over your shoulder for a rogue vampire with a vendetta, I'd say you've come quite a ways. I nodded as though I agreed with him, but in my heart, the tiny flames of hope I'd once had were dwindling down to barely flickering embers. Even with Holly and Harmony spending hours tutoring me and answering all of my